Lobo, issue 1, Scottie Young writing with Jorge Corona on the art. So, look,
Pete, I am so interested in your opinions on this book.
Well, let's be honest here, right? This was definitely the one that I was least excited for because I'm not that thrilled about the idea of Lobo as a character, right? He can pop in as a bit of comic relief as a side character, maybe a little bit, but even then, I'm not that excited to see him, if I'm honest. So,
Fair.
A Lobo book is not exactly on my short list of must-wants. Scottie Young, I read a little bit of the Rocket Raccoon series he did at Marvel, and I quite liked that, and I think he did the art on that as well, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he's more predominantly known as an artist, but yeah.
And I actually quite like his art on that book. I thought it really fit the what it was. And Jorge Corona isn't like wildly different in style, right? There's a difference. I would say that I like Scottie Young's art a little bit better than his, but it's definitely kind of like a similar tone of art. Like it doesn't feel like it's wildly out of place with what he's doing here. So the art's solid. The art is perfectly solid. It's definitely a lot of details, maybe a bit messy in places intentionally to give that feeling of chaos, but it's very colorful, very bright. All that's fine. The actual book, though, I think if you like Lobo acting like Lobo, then you probably get something here. The plot of this, ultimately by the end, because most of it's just he goes to do a bounty job to kill someone, then the bounty gets cancelled, and he goes to get paid from the people who have bought his the company that usually pays him for bounties. He's going to get like a no-kill fee, and it turns out this giant conglomerate has purchased all of the bounty hunter business, and they want Lobo to star in a new reality TV show about a bounty hunter because anti-heroes are in. So it's got a little bit of a meta thing going on there. There's like a weird reference at one point on like the fake movie that someone's watching where they do it's not quite Did I Do That, but it's like very close to that.
Yeah. No, this entire book is the Deadpool-esque leaning on the fourth wall.
Yeah.
It's all the like the video, the movie that they're talking about is, let me see if I can find the exact name, Murder Mouth and Fisty Claws. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. Like that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And they keep on talking. I think they're saying that like the company that made it is like Galactic Rat Pictures or something, supposed to be Disney. Like, and then by the time you get to the end of it, the conglomerate that bought up all this stuff, I don't know where in the writing process this was supposed to take place, but it feels like they're making fun of Paramount Plus. It feels like they're making fun of like the acquisitions of like Lobo. We've bought the ownership of you, and now you have to do the things we tell you to do. It's very fourth wall-y, and I appreciate that to an extent. I think that there are some cool stories that can be told in that. It feels very Keith Giffen. Like that's obviously where Lobo's like ancestral home is, so it feels very much up that line. But it still feels very much of, okay, let's recap Lobo, let's like walk through his history of like where he's been, and let's just make as many references as humanly possible.
Yeah, I really like it all that much. I mean, like, I appreciate the point it's making with doing the meta whole, like, Disney Corporation or whatever stuff. Like, that's fine from like an idea, but that comes quite late in the issue. I feel like a lot of this was just watching Lobo, like, talk and kill people or like fight people.
There's a point where he pulls up on his bike and the guy says, hey, it's a no parking zone. He points to a big no parking sign and he cuts off the guy's arm so that he can write Lobo parking in blood. Like that's the style and tone that we're going for most of this.
And I think if you find Lobo funny, you're probably having a blast with this, but I've never found Lobo that funny. I'm not amused by the word pastiche or other like fake swear words that he uses to fill in for the others. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's never appealed to me, right? He's purely a comic relief character to me, and typically speaking, comic book superheroes with characters who are nothing but comic relief don't really work for me. I don't really like Deadpool, and I don't like Harley Quinn when that's all she is. I like Harley Quinn when we're doing other things with her, like when we're doing like Harleen, and we're doing like the serious story of how the psychiatrist goes mad because of the Joker and becomes Harley Quinn. Yeah, super into that. But like when we're doing, no, she's just making Deadpool style jokes and winking at the audience. Nah, I'm good. Like, not for me.
I can easily see the target audience for this book. I think that it's good that this book exists for DC's sake. Like, it's good to diversify and have this kind of book on the stands. I do think the art is very well done. It's very detailed in a lot of strong places. It really sells the action of the scenes. But when it comes down to the writing, this isn't my cup of tea. This is something that I had to deal with a lot when I was reading New 52. Like, they did this type of book at least 4 or 5 times, and every time I was like, nope, not a fan, not into it.
And plus, it does. I get why it's there, because it's an issue 1. You want to like get new readers on board and all that. But there is like a 4-page section where it's just Lobo recounting his history in a quirky way. And I'm like, really? We're doing the history of Lobo. We're doing like he was the bad boy and everyone else in Zarnia was good. And then he killed them all. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't want to hear this all again. I'm just not that interested in it. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, it's I respect what it is, but I just not something I like very much. I'm not interested, and I kind of knew I was going to be interested in this. But you know, it's an issue 1. Said I'd try it. I tried it. We're done.
I think that this is going to be the type of book. Obviously, people who like Deadpool, this is going to be an equivalent sort of thing over at DC. I also think it's going to be good for people who really like Easter eggs, because I feel like this book is just constantly going to be laden with, oh, remember that thing from way back in the day? We're making a callback.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
As for the reality show angle of it, I mean, they could take it any number of directions. I don't particularly care one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him getting frustrated with like them watching him all the time, or like feeling forced into it or whatever. I don't know, that mediocre Running Man remake didn't exactly set me up in a good mood for this type of format, but who knows?
Look, I can see that this book is specifically geared, especially with the reality show angle, where they're going to keep on throwing things at him. Like, that's where the whole premise of the book is going to be. Lobo's just trying to be the main man. He's trying to do his own thing. And then they're like, but this issue, like, you're going to be facing against this, or we're throwing you into this situation. And they're just going to keep on doing that for probably 6 issues until he gets fed up and kills everybody.
Yep. It makes it a hard one to rate, though, because it's like it's technically doing what it wants to do. I just don't like it.
I mean, most of my ratings coming from, I really do respect the art. I think it's highly detailed while feeling super sketchy at the same time, and that's a hard line to draw.
Yeah, they are. Like, you know, whenever he's like grabbing someone and he's like coats flapping up and there's all these just like, you know, bits, his hair's all sticking out. There's a lot of detail to everything.
Yeah, so I think I'd settle on a 6. That's me personally. I still think it's above the mediocre line, just from obviously there's craft behind it perspective, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with that. I'll give it the 6 out of sort of diplomacy of like, I think it's succeeding at what it wants to be and the art's very good, but I just, it was a bit of a chore to actually read though, and I have no interest in reading issue 2.